A couple in Texas pays $68,000 for what they believe is a brand new travel trailer. 4 months later, they discover the warranty is registered in someone else's name. The unit had already been sold, delivered, used, and returned before they ever walked through the door. The dealer never said a word, and under current law, they may not have had to. Here's the thing, the RV industry sits in a consumer protection gap that most buyers have never heard of. The FTC's used car rule, the federal regulation that forces car dealers to post a buyer's guide on every used vehicle on their lot, explicitly does not cover most RV purchases. That gap is not an accident, it is a business environment, and some dealers have built a systematic playbook around it. Today we are pulling that playbook apart. 7 specific tactics dealers use to sell used, returned, demo, aged, and legally compromised RVs as new, so you know exactly what to look for before you sign anything. Smash that subscribe button right now, because what we are about to show you could save you tens of thousands of dollars. And stay until the end, it's all because the last thing we cover is the single 60-second document check that exposes every tactic on this list before the dealer even knows you're onto them. Let's get into it. Tactic 1, the return unit flip. We start with the most common scam on this list. Not the most dramatic, not the most criminal, but the most normalized, because in most states, it is completely legal. Here's how it works. Buyer A walks into a dealership, falls in love with the unit, signs the paperwork, takes delivery, and drives it home. Maybe they use it for a weekend. Maybe they get it home and realize it is not what they expected. Maybe the slide was already broken and they did not notice until they got it on the road. Whatever the reason, they return it to the dealer before they register or title it. Now the dealer has a decision to make. Here's the thing about that decision. Under the law in most states, an RV is legally classified as new until it carries a title. No title, no used designation, which means the dealer can put that unit right back on the lot. New price, new sticker, no disclosure. The margin on a new RV sale runs from 15 to 35% of MSRP. On a $60,000 unit, that is $9,000 to $21,000 in gross profit. Disclosing the return and remarking it as used means taking a $10,000 to $20,000 haircut on that margin. The Untitled loophole makes silence the profitable choice, and it happens. A case documented on RVtravel.com, a Coachman motorhome sold in March 2018, returned with 800 extra miles on the odometer, relisted as new, and sold again in July 2018. The warranty had already been registered in the first buyer's name. The second buyer discovered the scam only when a warranty claim came back denied. Their repair rejected because another person's name was on the account. Legal commentary at the time confirmed the dealer's behavior was likely lawful under titling rules. Translation: the dealer knows something you don't. That unit has been lived in, driven, and handed back. You are paying a new vehicle premium for a unit with someone else's fingerprints on it, and a warranty clock that may have started without you. You paid new price for someone else's return. The only thing new about it is the price tag. And that is the tamest version of the scam, because at least that unit was only driven by one other person. The next tactic puts your future RV in front of hundreds. Tactic 2, the Untitled demo unit, show units, floor models, executive demos. The industry has a dozen polished names for the same thing, an RV that has been used extensively and sold to you as new. Here's how it works. Dealers use certain units as walkthrough models at RV shows, showroom display pieces, or staff. Vehicles for weekend testing. Slides are extended and retracted hundreds of times. Appliances are fired up and cycled through. Awnings are deployed in parking lots in Phoenix in July. Toilets are flushed by strangers whose names you will never know. And when the model's rotated off demo duty, when the next year's version arrives, that unit goes back on the lot, legally new, because it was never titled. The dealer spent $0 on the demo unit's marketing function. It generated foot traffic, floor walkthroughs, and buyer confidence for months, and now it converts back into full margin new sale inventory. Same sticker, maybe a light show special discount that does not come close to reflecting the actual mechanical wear the unit has absorbed. Here's the thing that makes this scam possible at scale. The FTC's used car rule mandates that car dealers post a buyer's guide on every used vehicle on the lot, disclosing condition, warranty status, and history. That rule explicitly does not apply to most RV purchases. There is no federal requirement for a dealer to disclose demo use, accumulated mileage, slide cycles, or prior use history on an untitled RV. The regulatory gap does not just enable this scam, it is the reason the scam exists. Translation: the slides on that new unit have been operated by hundreds of strangers at a trade show. The toilet has been flushed. The awning has been deployed in a parking lot in Phoenix in July. You are buying someone else's test drive, and the sticker on the window still reads new. A demo unit is a used unit that never got a title. The dealer keeps the margin. You inherit the wear. At least a demo unit was driven somewhere useful. The next tactic is about units that went nowhere and somehow still managed to depreciate straight through your wallet. Tactic 3, the aged inventory repack. Right now, as you watch this video, over 10,000 brand new 2024 model RVs are sitting unsold on Dealery. Lots across the country. Over 1,600 brand new 2023 models are still out there. Units that in a healthy market should have been sold 2 to 3 years ago. Units that have been sitting in sun, wind, rain, and freeze-thaw cycles since they rolled off the factory floor. And some of them have been deep cleaned, restriped with fresh graphics, and put back on the market at or near new price, with no disclosure of how long they have been sitting. Here is the financial mechanism behind this. RV dealers do not own their inventory outright. They finance it through a system called floor plan financing, a short-term loan that charges daily interest on every unit sitting on the lot. A $50,000 RV costs the dealer $300 to $350 per month in floor plan interest alone. Multiply that across hundreds of units and you have millions of dollars in carrying costs accumulating every single month. After 12 to 18 months, a dealer facing that number has one priority: move the unit. And the easiest way to protect margin is to clean it up and not mention the age. The industry's own data tells a story. RV Trader publicly lists over 91,800 brand new 2025 models available on dealer lots as of mid-2025. Industry analysts openly describe the current environment as a growing lot age inventory crisis. A healthy market clears new inventory in 4 to 6 months. These units are 2 to 3 years overdue. Translation: that unit has been baking on an asphalt lot in Texas or sitting in a North Carolina rain belt for 2 years. The window seals are already stressed from repeated expansion and contraction. The roof membrane has been through dozens of freeze-thaw cycles. The propane connections have not been tested in 18 months. You are paying new price for 2 years of environmental wear that nobody mentioned. The only thing fresh about that unit is the detail job. Everything underneath it has been aging since the factory shipped it. And if you're finding this breakdown useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Now we move from units that have age on a lot to units that have age in a courtroom. And because the next scam involves RVs that were formally declared defective and put right back on the market without a word. Tactic 4, the lemon buyback resale. The NHTSA estimates that approximately 150,000 vehicles with repeating unrepairable defects are sold in the United States every single year. The original owners fight back. They document the failures, pursue lemon law claims, and eventually force the manufacturer to buy the vehicle back. And then the manufacturer puts some of those same units back on the market. Here is how the legal architecture enables it. When a manufacturer repurchases a lemon, they are required, in some states, to brand the title with the vehicle's defect history, manufacturer repurchase, warranty return, lemon law buyback. The problem: fewer than 1/3 of U.S. states require this branding. The other 2/3 have no such requirement. And even in states that do brand titles, the language used is often so obscure, manufacturer repurchase instead of lemon, that the average buyer reads right past it. The manufacturer repairs the unit, sometimes genuinely, sometimes superficially, and moves it back through the dealer network. The financial logic is straightforward. A manufacturer buyback can be resold at 60 to 70% of its original retail value, even after accounting for the buyback costs, if the lemon history is not disclosed. The fractured state-by-state branding system gives them the legal infrastructure to do it quietly. Translation: the original owner fought the manufacturer, proved the RV was defective after multiple failed repair attempts, and got their money back. Now you are about to buy that same unit. Patch up just enough to clear the lot. with no idea it already broke someone else's vacation 3 times in a row. It is not a used RV, it is a lemon in a fresh coat of paint. That unit at least went through a buyback process with some nominal disclosure obligations. The next tactic involves units where the title itself has been deliberately altered, and that is a federal crime. Tactic 5, the title washing. It sounds complicated, the mechanism is not, and the financial damage it does to the buyer is immediate, permanent, and in most cases irreversible. Here is how it works. An RV with a salvage title, flood damage, total loss declaration, structural write-off, is taken across state lines and re-registered in a state with looser title branding requirements. The damage history does not transfer. The new state issues a clean title. The unit hits the market with no disclosed damage history at near new prices. The buyer signs, drives home, and discovers the truth, if they are lucky, the first time it rains inside. The financial logic is brutal in its simplicity. A salvage titled RV is worth 30 to 50% less than a clean titled equivalent. A title wash restores that paper value at the cost of a single cross-state registration fee. The dealer recovers the margin. The buyer absorbs the structural, mechanical, or water damage that the original title was supposed to warn them about. Title washing is a federal offense under 49 U.S.C. section 32,710. Victims are entitled to triple damages plus attorney's fees. Yet it persists because enforcement requires buyer-initiated detection. And most buyers do not know what to look for. California law is explicit on this point. The state's own DMV records are insufficient to detect title washing. Buyers must use NMVTIS approved providers. The National Motor Vehicle Title Information System at vehiclehistory.gov is the only database that tracks title history across all 50 states simultaneously. Translation: the dealer knows something you don't. That RV was declared a total loss after 3 feet of floodwater sat in it for a week. It was re-registered in another state, cleaned up, and is now on a lot near you with a clean title and a price that assumes it was never underwater. The mold will introduce itself later. A washed title is held together by hope and self-tapping screws, and the assumption that you will never ask the right question. If this is already saving you from a headache, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. That scam requires criminal intent and a cross-state registration. The next one requires nothing but a dealer who understands that most buyers never check a single government database before they sign. Tactic 6, the recall pending new sale. A dealer sells you a brand new RV. You drive it home. You start planning your first trip. Months later, you try to register with the manufacturer to activate your warranty, and find out the unit carries an open safety recall that was never serviced. The unit should not have been sold in its current state. It was sold anyway. Here's the thing about recalls in this industry. Thor's portfolio accounted for 25% of all NHTSA automotive reports in 2024. Forest River averages 50 recalls per year. When a recall notice is issued on units already sitting on dealer lots, the recall remedy may take weeks or months to become available. Every day that unit sits unrepaired is another day of floor plan financing interest. $300 per month, accumulating against a unit the dealer cannot legally move. Some dealers move it anyway. The carrying cost logic is the same as the age inventory repack. The difference is that this time, it is not just depreciated seals and stress membranes. This time, there is a federal safety notice attached to the unit, the dealer's financial. Incentive is still to get the unit off the lot. The recall servicing obligation, from the dealer's perspective, becomes the buyer's problem once the paperwork is signed. A verified case from avo.com. A buyer purchased a new unit in September 2022 and later discovered it carried an open recall dated June 1st, 2022, and had been previously sold to another buyer in July 2022. The recall was never serviced on either transaction. The unit could not be registered with the manufacturer. Warranty access was blocked entirely. A licensed attorney confirmed on record dealers may not legally sell new vehicles with outstanding safety recalls. Translation: there is a federal safety notice on that unit. The dealer knows. They moved it anyway because the carrying cost was piling up. The recall repair, the warranty registration delay, and whatever the safety issue actually is, those are now your problems. The unit was flagged by the federal government before it reached your driveway. The dealer just forgot to mention it. And here's the thing. That scam at least involves a documented federal recall you can look up yourself in 60 seconds. The last tactic on this list is invisible until you are already sitting in the finance office. And by then, most people never see it coming. Tactic 7, the credit approval force add-on. You are in the finance office. The paperwork is mostly done. You have already shaken hands on the unit. The finance manager leans across the desk and tells you the good news. Your credit came back approved, and there is always a but. The approval is contingent on including the extended warranty package, the paint protection plan, and the tire and wheel coverage. Remove any of it, they tell you, and the loan may fall apart. That is a lie. Banks cannot legally condition loan approval on the purchase of optional products. The dealer knows this. The finance manager knows this. The entire conversation is a manufactured crisis, scripted, rehearsed, and deployed specifically because you have already emotionally committed to the purchase. And the last thing you want to hear is that the financing is in danger. Here is the financial reality behind it. Extended warranties carry profit margins of 50% or higher. A single force add-on package generates $3,000 to $8,000 in pure dealer profit on one transaction. When RV sales dropped 6.9% in 2024, some dealers escalated this tactic precisely because declining unit volume made per transaction profit critical to keeping the lights on. The FTC has specifically identified and cited bait and switch financing tactics in the RV and automotive dealer space. Oregon's Attorney General reached a $3.5 million settlement with Camping World over charges of overcharging customers. The FTC's consumer alert is explicit. Banks cannot require optional products as a condition of loan approval. Dealers who say otherwise are not mistaken. They are lying. Translation: you were approved before you sat down. The add-on package has nothing to do with your loan. The entire conversation about your credit was a stage play designed to make you feel too relieved to push back. The dealer pocketed the difference. The loan was never in danger, only your wallet was. Here is where we land. 7 tactics, 1 system. The RV industry's dealer network operates in a consumer protection gap that the automobile industry does not have. No mandatory buyer's guide, no universal lemon law coverage, no federal titling disclosure requirement for return or demo units. That gap is not a design flaw. For some dealers, it is the design. But here's what the dealer does not want you to know. Every single one of these scams has a specific concrete countermeasure, and none of them require a law degree or an inspector. They require 60 seconds and a willingness to ask the right questions before you sign. So, stop shopping like a victim and start thinking like an auditor. Here is the 5-step check that dismantles every tactic on this list. 1. Run the VIN on NHTSA.gov/recalls before you set foot on the lot. 60 seconds, free. If there is an open recall, do not sign until you have written confirmation the remedy is complete. Not a verbal promise. Written confirmation. 2. Run a full NMVTIS report at vehiclehistory.gov. Not Carfax, not a random third-party site. This is the federal database that tracks title history across all 50 states simultaneously, including salvage, flood damage, lemon buyback, and manufacturer repurchase designations. It is not optional. It is the floor. 3. Ask the dealer directly in writing, has this specific unit ever been sold, delivered, registered for warranty, used as a demo or display model, or appeared at any trade show or event? Get the answer in writing, dated, before you sign anything. 4. Pull the VIN. Build date from the manufacturer and compare it to today. If the unit was manufactured more than 12 months ago, it is aged inventory. New price sticker on a 2-year-old unit is not a deal. It is a data point about how desperate the dealer is to move it. Price accordingly. 5. Get pre-approved for financing through your own bank or credit union before you walk into the finance office. Once you know your approval status independently, any claim that it is contingent on add-ons is immediately exposed as the lie it is. You can decline, you can walk, and the dealer knows it. Those 5 steps take less than an hour. They cost less than $50 in report fees. And they are the difference between buying what you think you are buying and buying someone else's problem at full new price. The dealer knows something you don't. Now, so do you. Let me know in the comments which tactic on this list surprised you the most. And if you want to make smarter choices, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one.